Welcome, everybody. It's Brad Bernstein. It is April 30th on a Thursday. This is Brad Show Live Pandemic Pop-Up Quarantine Edition. We feel like we've been in quarantine for some long period of time now. It's been 6 weeks, feels like 6 years. But hopefully we are coming to the end of it. But in the meantime, let me say hello to the ever-wonderful, the ever-growing, the ever-beautiful Brad Squad. Javel Finnegan, squad up from Jamaica. What's happening down in Jamaica? Toshiba Buchanan, how are you? Katie and Plunkett saying squad up on Facebook. Latoya, his forever Peterson, she is still with him. I think it's going to be forever based on her name. Janice Williams Smith, how are you? Koshiko Istani, saying good evening. Lisa Bling Rose saying squad up Uncle Brad and the rest of the crew. Behind the scenes, Kerry Williams, what's going on? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. And Joan Grant saying squad up as well. Ben Iputu saying squad up. Yay, Uncle Brad's here. Woohoo! Let's go there. And who else do we have here? Shireen White saying, hey, Brad. Ramona Jones Wade saying, hi, good day. Maurice Cromarty with a free comment of the day. Also with a question. He mixes the two together. Hi, Uncle Brad. Thanks for the great job you are doing. Free comment of the day. And then throws in a question, thinking I'm not going to catch it, but I did. I have a VAWA case pending, but my work permit will expire in 60 days. What can I do? Refile the work permit. File right now for an EAD. It's on an I-765. If you have it as a pending adjustment, you put in C9. If you have your VAWA as an approved VAWA case, then you do an EAD renewal under C31. Netta Matt Sinclair saying, good day, how are you? Kennedy Roy saying squad up to the entire squad. He's singling out people. Kerry Williams with the question, we'll get to you in a little bit. And who else can we see here? Sherry Bushy Foster watching. Sherry Bushy Foster, by the way, says squad up on Brad. Thank you for all that you do and continue to do. She's watching all the way from Germany, and it's after 11 o'clock. I don't go to sleep until I watch your program with a heart. Thank you very much, Sherry. I'm like late night television for Sherry in Germany. And let's see what's going on YouTube. On YouTube right now, Rupan Salukdar with a question about what's going on in Oregon. Carol, the top cat tiger student. Let's see what the question is. U.S. District Judge Michael Simon in Oregon accepted the Trump new immigration suspension order yesterday. Political News said, is that right or wrong? Can you let us know? I did not hear anything about that. I understand that they're going to have arguments on an injunction. I do not believe that he already decided on that within 24 hours. So we would have to look into that further, but I did not hear anything about that. Donald Horton saying hello. David Wright, what's going on? Back it up. Ricky, backing it all the way up. Anna Foster. He's back. He's back on YouTube. Big M. Big M saying squad up, everybody, because I cannot pronounce his name. Everybody say hello to Big M. He goes also by the name of Mukamaka Yakub Yakabab. I think I got that right. So let's call him Big M. Let's all say hello on YouTube. Alem Aga, how are you? Kahi saying squad up. And Kevin Lowe saying hello. Leslie Benoit, Denise Johnson, Lola. They have a song, Lola, I think. Lady Leah. No, it's just Lola, not Lola. It's just Lola. And it's been changed now to the song. They have a new song called Corona instead of Lola. Corona instead of Lola. But that's for a whole other day. Jad Lyad and 29 Super C. Alan Aga with a question. Honestly answered, why not? Question. Hi, Brad. I'm a U.S. citizen. I filed for my I-130 for my wife and children 5 and 6 years old, and all the documents are accepted and paid to the National Youth Center. All the payments were done on February 4th, and I was waiting for an appointment to be scheduled. Is the ban affecting the case? If you're a U.S. citizen and you filed for your wife and children under the age of 21, the ban is not affecting your case. Your wife and children will go through. And before we get into schmoozing, I got to remind everybody, I got to remind that's really good English, Uncle Brad. I have to remind everybody to please, if you like this show and you've been watching, subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube, because every day YouTube is going to notify you with a little ding. The audio connection is bad. Wow. Uh-oh. What should we do, Julie? She's sending me text messages that the audio connection is bad. I don't know what I should do. Do you want to start over, Julie, or should we just continue and fight through the audio connection? I hope it's just Julie. Let us know if anybody else is having problems hearing us. But I do want to remind everybody that you got to subscribe on YouTube. If you subscribe on YouTube, everybody who's watching right now, subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe on YouTube. Because if you subscribe on YouTube, you will be notified. You will be notified of all of our shows every day. Now, a lot of people I know are scared to subscribe. I know a lot of people are nervous. I don't want anyone to think I'm an immigrant. I just spoke to somebody today on the phone. He says to me, Uncle Brad, was so excited to speak with me. He says, I watch you every day. I said, do you comment? No, I'm not commenting. I don't want anyone to know my problem. I said, do you subscribe on YouTube or Facebook? No, I don't do that either. I don't want anyone to know my problems. Sometimes I miss your show because I don't know what it's on. I said, dude, listen. All right? I called him a different name, but for all intents and purposes, for this story, we'll call him Dude. So I said, dude, listen. Nobody cares whether you're an immigrant or not. Nobody's going to realize you have an immigration problem. And if you're so concerned, change your name. Nobody has to know it's you. But you should be subscribing. You should be subscribing. The audio is breaking up. I don't know what we should be doing. There is a sound problem, Julie. Since I'm here alone on an island, tell me what I should be doing. But in the meantime, no, the sound is not good. Everybody's saying the sound is not good. Is the sound any better? What should I do? What should I do? Brad, the audio is not good. All right, so you know what I think we're going to do? Let's do this. Let's restart. Let's restart our program. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. I think what we have to do is Lee has to literally get up from his bedroom and switch something, and then we will fix it. All right. So we'll say goodbye at this moment, and then we will be back in 5 minutes. All right, let's see if this works now, guys. Let me know right now whether you hear me. Lee, we got him out of his bed. We got him out of his bed. He actually went under his desk. He found like 3 plugs that needed to be plugged in. He says everything should be okay now. Julie, also let me know if it's working. And I assume it's working because nobody's saying anything different. And you hear the words coming out. Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? If you hear the words coming out of my mouth, let me know right now, because if not, I don't want to do this show for myself. I already know the information. The show is always being done for you guys, the squad. So make sure you understand the words coming out of my mouth. And if you were kind enough to wait while it's working. All right, very good. If you were kind enough to wait, please subscribe, because you never know when we get crap like this where we got to restart all our routers. So you always subscribe and you know exactly when we're going to be on. So if you're on YouTube, where I was left before was I said, this dude was telling me he watches every day, but you know what? I don't subscribe. I don't comment. I don't like. Nobody even knows I watch. Let me tell you something right now. The best thing that you can do, the best thing not only you can do for yourself, but you can do for the immigrant community, you can do for everybody who wants a fair shake in life, is you subscribe. And not only do you subscribe to the show, you tell everybody in the world that this show exists. Why? For 2 reasons. Number one, you are going to get the best information you're going to get anywhere in the world about immigration and current topics. I promise you that. Okay? Number 2, the more people who subscribe to this, the more people who watch this, the more people who follow this, you are going to make a community of like-minded people, the Brad Squad, or whatever you want to call yourselves. If you don't want to be Brad Squad anymore, whatever name you want to call yourselves, but you're going to make a community of like-minded people who support each other, who root for each other, and ultimately, we're going to show the world that, you know what? These people who come from other countries, people who are not born in the United States, minorities, they have a voice. They're a big, big community, a huge community. One of the biggest things that I get all the time is they say, we're a niche program. Uncle Brad, you're a niche program. Immigrants, immigration, nobody cares. Well, you know what? If you subscribe, I know a lot of people care. If you subscribe, you get a lot of people to subscribe. You get a lot of people to follow. You get a lot of people to share. We're not niche anymore. We're right there in the big minority, or hopefully a majority at some point in time. All right, because I think there's a lot more people who are born outside of the United States than who are born in the United States, and that number is changing. That number is changing every day. In terms of people who, well, obviously that's a stupid comment by Uncle Brad. Of course, there's a lot more people born outside of the United States than in the United States, but there's a lot more people born outside the United States who either immigrated, want to immigrate, are living here out of status or in some visa, or living in another country who want to come here than there are people here. Let's show the people our numbers. Let's show the people that we mean business. And the best way to do it is subscribe and make this show popular, make this show big, make this show number 1. And you want to know what happens? We're no longer niche. We're not niche anymore. We're part of mainstream. So that's what you guys need to do. Don't be scared. Nobody's coming to knock on your door. Nobody's coming to knock on your door because you subscribe to Bradshaw Live. Okay? But what you are getting is the best information, really good content, a really amazing community of people who love each other, support each other, root for each other, and hopefully you're getting some fun as well. So please subscribe both on YouTube and on Facebook. Guys, you know what you got to do. You got to like and subscribe. Same deal, okay? I don't have to repeat my exact spiel that I just gave YouTube Squad for Facebook Squad. You know exactly what you need to do. You need to like and follow this show. And why? Go back and rewind for 5 minutes. I'm not going to go repeat myself twice. But let's see what's going on. Oh, one other thing before I get into schmoozing. If you want to be able to reach me, because a lot of people want to reach me, I get a list. You want to get on Uncle Brad's list. I have a list that I get every day. You want to get on Uncle Brad's list. What you do right now is call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465 in the United States. If you happen to be watching in Germany, like some of our Brad Squad, or anywhere in the world, we have lots of people all over the world watching, then you call 1-212 227-8933. That's 1212-227-8933. You call up my secretary, you say, hi, I want on Uncle Brad's list. That's all you got to say. And the secretary will say, whoa, wait a second. I need to know your name. I need to know who he's supposed to call. Have you ever called before? There's a small consultation fee. It's $150. Oh, you're a current client. You don't have to pay. They'll go through that rigmarole. But you want to know what? You will get on my list. I will call you tomorrow. And trust me, everybody, not everybody, but most people I speak to, they are so thrilled by the end of the conversation. So if you want to get on my list, call 1-800-529-5465 or 212-227-8933. So let me look at my list here. Telephone number, check. Follow on link and follow, like and follow on Facebook, check. Subscribe on YouTube, check. Follow on Instagram. We'll get to that later, but let's go to some schmoozing and see what's going on in the world. I'm interested in what's going on in the world too, in something we like to call schmoozing with Brad. All right, so according to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, there are now over 3,250,000 confirmed coronavirus cases worldwide. Over 231,000 people have died from the virus. Over 1 million have recovered. As we said, these numbers are really skewed low because these are numbers of people who are actually tested. There's probably millions and millions of people who have never been tested. There's probably, I don't know, tens of thousands, maybe even over 100,000 people who died from coronavirus that has never ever been tested. They don't know for sure. Meanwhile, I just read in the New York Times today that coronavirus has killed more people in the United States in the last 6 weeks than AIDS or HIV killed in any given year, even at the height of the AIDS crisis in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Despite all of that, Jared Kushner, he's the son-in-law of Donald Trump. He's married to his daughter Ivanka. He got on Fox News and he said the government's response, Donald Trump's response to this challenge is a great success. As Borat once said, I don't know, a great success. That's what he says. Despite the fact that coronavirus has killed over 61,800 people in the United States, more people have died from coronavirus than in any of the deadliest years for U.S. troops in Vietnam. The deadliest year for troops in Vietnam was 1968, when 16,899 soldiers were killed for every 100,000 residents. And that rate of coronavirus is almost double that. But during the Fox and Friends appearance yesterday, Kushner praised the Trump administration. And really, he said the country is on the other side of the medical aspect of this and everything is doing great. This is typical Donald Trump and typical Trump family, that what your eyes see and what your brain sees or computes is not reality. They're telling you a different reality. They're telling you a reality that your eyes see and that your brain doesn't compute. And then people are like, maybe, I don't know, because that's their playbook. That is their playbook. Their playbook is tell you something that's not happening, but if they repeat it enough and they say it enough, then it will be believable. Do you know who's, listen, I'm not calling anybody Adolf Hitler. I'm not calling anybody Adolf Hitler, but that was Adolf Hitler's thing. Okay. Hitler said, if you tell a lie, you tell the biggest lie you can tell, the biggest freaking lie you can come up with, because the bigger the lie, the more believable it is. So this is as big a lie as you can come up with. The U.S. is not doing great. 1 out of 3 people are on unemployment right now. The economy is in a free fall. More people have died of coronavirus in the last 6 weeks than anybody died of AIDS in any given year. More people died of coronavirus in the last 6 weeks in the United States than anybody died in any given year in the Vietnam War. How in anybody's mind is the United States doing great? Well, despite all of this, Donald Trump said today social distancing is done. The guidelines are set to expire. He's done with social distancing. He said that the federal government will not be extending its coronavirus social distancing guidelines once they expire today. His son-in-law predicted, Jared Kushner, back on this Fox News thing, that by July, the country will be really rocking and rolling. Trump announced yesterday he plans to resume official travel to Arizona next week. He's going to be holding campaign rallies. He's going to be throwing tons of people into stadiums. They basically decided we're going to spread coronavirus because that is less important to us than getting reelected again. So how do we get reelected again? We tell everybody America's doing great, even though we're not. And we put people in the stadiums. And then Donald Trump has a big campaign rally, make America great again, and gets everybody rocking and rolling. And what's he going to do? Everybody's problems, coronavirus, your lack of a job, the fact that we were stuck in a home. The fact is because, we have immigrants running across the border from Mexico. That's his campaign. So, be wary. What your eyes see and what your brain tells you is more important than what you hear. Now, Florida is set to reopen on May 4th, but except for Miami and Dade counties. Yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he's going to reopen certain businesses throughout much of the state on Monday. DeSantis said restaurants and retail spaces could let customers inside, but only at 25% capacity. Movie theaters are not going to open yet. Bars, fitness centers, and places that offer personal services like hair salons, they're going to open later. They're not opening on May 4th. So on May 4th in Florida, you're still going to look like a gorilla. Can't go get your hair cut yet. Now, people can schedule non-urgent surgeries. And by the way, I shaved because if anybody was starting to look like a gorilla with their beard, it was me. Now, people can schedule non-urgent surgeries again, he said, though it depends on the hospital's ability to handle surges and cases. So people who didn't have emergency surgeries, they'll be able to get rescheduled again. Schools are not reopening in Florida. They're going to still be doing online classes. And 3 counties in Florida hit hardest by coronavirus, Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach. They account for 6.2 million people. They are not opening yet. It's the rest of Florida that's going to be opening. Meanwhile, out in California, another big state that got hit by coronavirus, Governor Newsom is ordering all the beaches and state parks closed Friday after tens of thousands of people flocked to the seashore last weekend during a heat wave, despite the stay-at-home order. Just tens of thousands of people went anyway. So Eric Nunez, president of the California Police Chiefs Association, said it was sent to give chiefs time to plan ahead for Newsom's expected announcement on Thursday. Well, this is the only problem. I mean, because people are so pent up and stuck in their home. They're so pent up and stuck in their home that, you can't hold people down forever. It's like a boiling pot of water. You gotta let, open up the steam a little bit, because other than that, the whole thing's going to explode. Now, people just need to get out. So there's got to be some middle ground, Governor Newsom. And listen, I'm the last person who wants the virus spread. But there's got to be some middle ground between saying beaches closed completely and everybody goes to the beach. Whether it's, you take turns going to the beach, you give tickets to go to the beach, you limit the number of people on the beach, but you got to allow some people to get out and do their thing. Other than that, there's going to be a revolt in California. And that's what I'm concerned about. But, I'm not the governor of California. Meanwhile, Los Angeles City said that they're going to be offering free coronavirus testing to all of their residents. The free coronavirus testing is even available to residents if they don't show any symptoms. The announcement, which makes Los Angeles the first major city in the nation to offer free testing to all its residents, comes on the same day that county health officials reported a surge in the number of coronavirus cases, which they attributed in part to more widespread testing. So the more testing you do, the more we find out that people have coronavirus. A lot of people don't show symptoms. Some people do get sick. Other people get really, really sick. Some people really, really die. As I discussed yesterday, there's 5 categories of people that really, really, really got to be careful. You're elderly, you have diabetes, you have hypertension, you're fat, you have an underlying health issue like cancer or heart condition. Those are the 5 groups of people who need to worry. Now, Los Angeles County now has a total of 22,500 confirmed cases, accounting for nearly half of California's more than 46,000, but that's only because they're testing more than the rest of California. So here's some good news. Remdesivir, it's a antiviral drug that's used partly for HIV and AIDS. It's made by Gilead, and it was announced that there has been some positive data about the drug's performance in a federal trial, basically saying that this drug has made a modest difference in recoveries of people with coronavirus. And what the modest difference was that people who took this drug, remdesivir, were only sick, who were hospitalized, were only sick for 11 days in the hospital, versus people who did not take the drug were sick for 15 days. Now, why are people actually excited about this? Because this was a true scientific study where they looked at a control group who didn't take it, and they looked at a group that did take it, and they accounted for differences in people's medical conditions and age and whether they were man and female. So it was a real scientific study versus, the one that they did in France with the lupus drug, and Trump was touting for a month, where the French doctor said, we gave this lupus drug to 6 people, they got better, so I think it works. That's not a real scientific study. So Dr. Fauci, for the first time, came out and said he was excited about this, even though it was only a modest improvement. Why is he excited about this? Because this is the way that they were able to find treatment for AIDS. Because what ultimately is going to happen with coronavirus, what we really all want to happen is, yes, we want a vaccine. But the reality is vaccines take 10, 12 years. Even if we make it on a fast track, it's going to be 18, 24 months. And who knows, even if we fast track it, whether it will actually work, whether it is actually safe. If we have drugs that can treat the symptoms of people who get ill from coronavirus, people who are required to be hospitalized, and they can get these drugs in advance of going to a hospital, you're now going to be treating coronavirus like you treat diabetes and you treat AIDS, which is you take a cocktail of drugs. So AIDS was fixed, not because there's a vaccine, but because there is a cocktail of drugs, of multiple drugs that you take in combination with one another, that basically makes the HIV virus dormant in your body, or so minimal in your body that you really even can't transmit it to somebody else, and you live with the HIV in your body, but you live for presumably a very, very long time. And this is the idea, what they're thinking about with remdesivir. It is going to be one of many drugs that they put in a cocktail that all together will hopefully be able to treat coronavirus, and we will have a treatable medicine for coronavirus well before we have a vaccine for it, because I think the vaccine is going to be a long time. So this was the first successful trial of a drug that they believe will be part of a larger cocktail to treat coronavirus. The trial was sponsored by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. They enrolled 1,063 patients who were given remdesivir or a placebo. A placebo means a sugar pill. The time to recovery averaged 11 days for those who got the drug compared to 15, as I said. Now, Dr. Fauci cautioned that the results of the study still need to be properly peer-reviewed, but this is the first time I ever heard Fauci optimistic about anything. So hopefully this drug, remdesivir, is going to become the beginning not the end, but the beginning of the standard of care for patients with coronavirus as part of one of a larger cocktail that hopefully will find some other drugs in the future. This compares to when, as I said, when Trump touted hydrochloroquine. He says let me say how he says it. Hydrochloroquine. He says it very, very slowly so he doesn't screw it up because he doesn't want to be made fun of. That was the French study that said 6 people took it and they got better. And he was touting it, and Fox was touting it, and it turns out it made people sicker. And if you remember, Fauci interrupted Trump and said, "We're not sure if hydrochloroquine is actually going to work." And that's when people thought that Trump was going to fire Fauci, but he kept him on. But now Fauci is saying that remdesivir is actually something clinically that works. So hopefully that will continue. On some lighter news, the Urban Dictionary, I'm sure a lot of you know what that is. If you Google, a lot of times I go to the Urban Dictionary because my kids are talking to me and I go, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I got to look up in the Urban Dictionary because I don't understand what the kids are talking about. So now the Urban Dictionary has added 2 terms in light of the coronavirus pandemic. For those who have an affinity for Governor Andrew Cuomo and his CNN anchor brother Chris Cuomo, there is a new word added to the Urban Dictionary. It's called Cuomosexual. The term was created by Randy Rainbow, the comedian and singer whose parody videos about all things Trump administration against the backdrop of the musical numbers goes viral. Earlier this month, he released a video professing his love of Governor Cuomo against the backdrop of the track Sandy from Greece. He tweeted, "From now on, I identify as a Cuomosexual. Stay home, New York tough." And in response to the term landing in the Urban Dictionary, he tweeted, "Of everything I've done in this world, I'm proud of this hashtag word of the day." So there is a new term, a Cuomosexual, and that defines someone who has a deep abiding affection or attraction bordering on obsession for one of the Cuomo brothers. When interviewing Governor Cuomo on Ellen DeGeneres, she asked him if he was aware of the term. He responded, "Yeah, I think that's an advantage. I do not think it's a bad thing." DeGeneres added that the term also applied to his younger brother, Chris, whom she also is fond of. And she said, to which, Governor Cuomo said, laughing, "Yes, whichever one you enjoy more." So that is one new word added to the Urban Dictionary. The second word that was added this month to the Urban Dictionary, a maskhole. So you can imagine what a maskhole is. It's somebody who walks around not wearing a mask when everybody else is. Such as this guy. He is a maskhole. Vice President Pence. He was a maskhole yesterday when he went into the Mayo Clinic, and he's the only guy not wearing a face mask. So everybody starts calling him, "What a maskhole." The Urban Dictionary describes these folks as assholes who don't wear masks publicly during the coronavirus 19 pandemic, especially common in New York City, and usually of a certain perceived privilege and political party, wink, wink. It also gives an example of how it may be used in a sentence. "That effing maskhole rolled up right behind us like a stealth bomber as we were getting off the ferry on 34th Street. Running and coughing, spreading that Rona all over the back of our necks. Not a mask or bandana in sight. What an effing maskhole." That's basically Vice President Pence. Meanwhile, Russian swimmer Yulia Efimova has a monster workout that only requires a kitchen counter because we are all at home and we're all stuffing our faces with Oreo cookies and chocolate chip cookies and everything else. The controversial 3-time Olympian medalist uploaded a video of her swim drills out of the pool earlier this month and reminded followers to stay home. The video was viewed more than 11 million times, with a helper holding down her feet on the kitchen countertop, because I'm wondering how she's able to do this. The athlete cycled through the breaststroke, freestyle backstroke, and most impressively, the butterfly. Now, Efimova is known for her feud with American gold medalist Lily King of the 2016 Olympics in Rio. She served a 16-month ban from swimming in 2014 and 2015 after testing positive for a banned steroid. She failed another steroid test in 2016. She was also the target of harsh criticism from competition Rio, who felt it was unfair that they were forced to compete against her. Her eligibility in the Tokyo Games remains in question, And who even knows whether the Tokyo Games will even go off next year in 2021. It's already been postponed 1 year. In another way that you can, if you're not an Olympic swimmer, but you're a runner, and marathons are your thing or running's your thing, a quarantined man ran a marathon on his apartment balcony amid the coronavirus lockdown. Alicia Nakamovitz spent 6 hours, 48 minutes running 26.2 miles around the 7-meter balcony of his apartment in Toulouse, France, during quarantine. Video shared online shows the 32-year-old restaurant worker, who is currently furloughed from his job, running repeatedly up and down the small space. In all, he completed 6,000 laps. I wanted to bring something playful to the containment. I saw pictures of people going out of their homes for jogging, but if everyone does the same, we will all end up outside at the same time, which obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. So he said he was mulling his next stay-at-home challenge. How about another marathon to improve my record, or a 12-hour trainer session on my balcony? He's going to figure it out. So that's another way. Keep running. And finally, today is Captain Tom Moore's 100th birthday. You may not have heard of Captain Tom Moore. Let me tell you about who he is. He's a famous British war veteran who has raised 29 million pounds, which is about $36 million, for the United Kingdom's National Health Service, according to his Just Giving page. And he did it by walking 100 laps in his garden. Moore began a Just Giving fundraiser on April 8th at age 99, initially hoping to raise £1,000 for UK hospitals. He completed the challenge on April 16th after walking 10 laps of his garden each day, aided by a walker. He told CNN, "We really never ever for a minute thought we would get this sort of money. We started off with a little modest figure." Born in Yorkshire, Northern England, Moore trained as a civil engineer before being enlisted in the British Army during World War II, where he served in India, Indonesia, and Britain. He later became the managing director of a concrete manufacturer. And following the death of his wife in 2006, Moore moved in with his daughter, his son-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. When asked why he believed this fundraiser had struck a chord with so many people, imagine raising 30 some odd million dollars. This man, he just turned 100 years old. I think it's just unbelievable. He said, "I think people realize that everyone, wherever they are, gets equally treated just as well with the same efficiency and kindness that we get from our nurses and doctors, who, after all, at the moment, are on the firing line." So we want to say to Captain Moore, happy birthday. And we are now 45 minutes into our delayed broadcast today. So I think we got to get to something we like to call, you have an immigration question, I got an answer for you. And something we like to call, leave your question in the comments, I'll answer it. It's something we like to call social media check-in. And something we like to call Lee. All right, so I have all my notes here. I got to give out my telephone number one more time if you want to get on my list to speak with me. The telephone number to call is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's 212-227-8933. Every Wednesday, I'm going to pull the name from a hat of somebody who wins a free consultation with me. Let me tell you how to win a free consultation with me if you don't want to pay for it. You go to Bradshaw Live on Instagram right now. You follow Bradshaw Live. You find the post that says, enter to win a free consultation with Uncle Brad. It's a value of $200. The post looks just like that. You like that post and tag 5 of your friends. You may be pulled out of my hat next Wednesday for a free consultation. You could also follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. If you don't get your immigration question answered here, you can always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll try to answer the questions as best as I can. Do not forget to subscribe on YouTube. I gave a whole speech on why it's important to subscribe on YouTube. Do it now. Don't forget to follow and like us on Facebook. Do it now. Why? Because you will be notified every time that we go live. Why? Because you are really part of a really cool group of people who support each other, who love each other, and is a great family to each other, even though we've never met. Best online family of any show, anywhere. I'll put my online squad up against anybody. You can be part of it. All you got to do is like and follow on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. Also, let's make immigration important. The more people who subscribe, the more people who like and follow, the more people who watch the show, the more important it is. Let's make people who are less fortunate, who need help, more important in the eyes of everybody. Let's make this show as big as we can make it. Also, right now on Facebook, I'm going to ask you right now to start your watch parties. Why? Because we want as many people to watch the show, and we want to help as many people as we can. And on YouTube, we want you to hit that thumbs up. Right now, there's only 65 thumbs up, yet 155 people watching. That is way too low. Turn that gray thumb into a blue thumb. And what else do I have to say? And of course, we will have a new competition on Wednesday. I have my whole list done. Let's go to some immigration questions. I'm going to start on Facebook. And let's see what we got here on Facebook. I got to go all the way back to the beginning here. Let's see. What do we got here? Sheikh Mohammed Ibrahim. My parents recently got USA immigration visa, but they didn't go due to the COVID-19. Will it affect my parents' immigration? I listened to a few people that they will not enter in USA till further order. Some help. Can they enter USA? If they have the immigrant visa, they can re-enter. They can enter the US as long as they enter before the immigrant visa expires. So you can absolutely, positively enter despite the ban. The ban is for issuance of future immigrant visas. But if your parents got the immigrant visa, congratulations. Absolutely, they can enter. Sugar Sweetness, Sunshine Legister. Just with a pre-comment of the day. Hey, Uncle Brad, thanks to you and the team, I got my EAD in advance parole. Way to go. Way to go. Congratulations. Another pre-comment of the day, Lisa Bling Rose, in caps. She's yelling it from her balcony. Share like Uncle Brad's show that you can get notification when the show started. He's the best immigration lawyer firm around the world. And love. Thank you very much, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, also with a pre-comment of the day. Anybody who watched the show, you will not regret watching it. It is absolutely the best law firm, and it is the real deal. Thank you very much, Carol. And let's see what else we have here. Shunil Chandra with a question. Shunil's asking, hi, Brad. I've been a lawful permanent resident since 2002. I was denied citizenship in 2012 as I had a DV, I guess a domestic violence case in California in 2011. A misdemeanor placed on three years probation, no jail term. It's first offense in U.S. The domestic violence case was dismissed in June of 2015. Can I reapply for citizenship? I'm not sure whether you can reapply for citizenship because we got to figure out domestic violence is a deportable offense. So we got to make sure, number one, whether or not you're deportable. Certainly you can apply for citizenship because it sounds like you have 5 years good moral character or very close to it. It was dismissed in June of 2015. So 5 years good moral character would be July 2015. But before you apply, when you have a domestic violence, you should be contacting me because the reality is we don't want to get you deported. So contact me first so we do it smartly. Stargirl Mika wants to know if Yo-Yo is inviting to quarantine in apartment 9J. I don't know where the invitations are, Yo-Yo. Where's the quarantine invitations? Radical Schelling's Lion has a question. Says, hey, Brad, I love your show. A friend of mine sent in their papers to immigration. He's married to a U.S. citizen. So he filed the necessary documents on April 24th, 2020. Okay, that was like last week by FedEx. Delivered it to the lockbox. How long would it take for him to get some kind of response, like a text or a receipt? About 2 weeks or so. But what you should do is double check and make sure your check is cashed, and then you know everything is good. Let's see what else. Kenny Sang with a question. Hi, Brad. If you file for VAWA as an abused spouse through a U.S. citizen and file an adjustment, do you get an interview before the approval of VAWA, or do you get an interview after VAWA is approved? Also, do you mail the documents of adjustment to the Vermont Service Center and a local USCIS office? You mail the adjustment documents to the lockbox office, wherever it says to file it. Generally speaking, you will not get an interview for adjustment until your VAWA I-360 is approved. Brad, how long does it take to get your work permit after you file the I-45 of the VAWA case? About 4 to 6 months, maybe less. Stargirl Mika with a pre-comment of the day. Wow, Brad is so good at reporting the news. That's right. You can call me Tom. Is it Tom Koppel? Is it Walter Cronkite? Is it I don't know who I should be called. Somebody, but not Wolf Blitzer. Jasmine McDonald. Can a 10-year-old need to apply for citizenship? The father is a citizen before she was born, but not the. By the way, I have nothing against Wolf Blitzer. I just don't want to be called Wolf Blitzer. Maybe somebody else. I don't know why. Can a 10-year-old need to apply for citizenship? The father is a citizen before she was born, but not the mother. If the father was a citizen before she was born, then the child should be an automatic U.S. citizen if the father lived in the United States for 5 years after the age of 14. So as long as that happens, and you can prove the father lived in the United States for at least 5 years after the age of 14, the father was a citizen before the child was born, you get the child a U.S. passport. The child's an automatic U.S. citizen. Let's see what else we have here. Aha! AC-21 rule, employment-based green card. Navneet Singh. If someone loses the job with pending I-45, will the person go out of status immediate or like after the 60 days like H-1? If you have a pending I-485, you are not going out of status if you lost your job as long as your I-45 is pending. You are in legal status every day. When you go on the interview for your adjustment of status, you will need to show up with 2 forms of proof. Proof 1, that you worked at the sponsoring job for at least 180 days before you got fired, 180 days after your adjustment application was filed, before you got fired. And number 2, you got to show up with a new job offer in the same job, doing the same job requirements at a same or higher salary. J.D. Yates. Hi, Mr. Brad. We don't get many AC-21 questions. Thought you were going to fool me on that, huh? J.D. Yates. Hi, Mr. Brad. God bless you for all you do. Best. I love your show. I have a couple of questions about a VAWA case. Is it true with all the proof of audio tape and police reports someone have, you would still need a psychiatrist and therapy to evaluate you to prove you were in a domestic abuse with your spouse? What are the chances of getting a VAWA approval? Do you get to go for an interview, and when? I have no idea what's on the audio tapes. I have no idea what's on a police report. So without knowing what's on an audio tape and what's on a police report, I don't have the slightest idea how to advise you. If the audio tape is your wife or ex-wife yelling at you, that in of itself, without proof of the damage to your emotional state, is not enough. If the audio tape is you yelling, "Stop hitting me, stop stabbing me," I mean, you can hear physical abuse, well then, yeah, I don't think you need to go to a psychiatrist. I mean, you have the proof of the physical abuse. So I don't know what you have there. And yes, you do have to go for an interview for your green card. Koshianti Latif. My asylum interview was 9 months ago, but no decision yet. I sent an inquiry to San Francisco. They said it's under review by asylum supervisor. How long does that review take? Could take a while. I don't know what to tell you unless I review your asylum to see if you have a legitimate asylum claim and you have an approvable asylum claim, and then we can figure out what to do from there. But 9 months seems to be a lot. Stargirl Mika wants to have a squad party. Well, once maybe they stop social distancing, maybe we'll be able to do it. Gina Favored says, hey, Brad, my sister came to USA on a fiance visa and got married before 90 days. After the wedding, her husband abused her, but filed the I-45. She ran away before it was approved, and her husband went to court, and the marriage was annulled. She never went for an interview. She's now been here for 10 years. She has 2 kids, planning to get married soon. Can she file the I-45 again? What can she do? Well, I don't know about what she can do, because if the marriage was annulled, the marriage never happened. If she got divorced, then the marriage happened. As long as she can prove the abuse, or she can prove that it was a bona fide marriage, she can still get a green card. But on an annulment, that puts a tricky wrench into it. So I think she would need to call me. Her getting married again would require her to do a provisional waiver, go home, and prove both marriages were real. That's a much more difficult case. So let her call me. Javel Finnegan, Uncle Brad, the visitor's visa holders can come to the USA now to visit without any quarantine. I don't know about that. I never heard that yet. Mona Paul Singh, I would like to know if the unemployment benefit would affect in the affidavit support. It doesn't affect the affidavit support in terms of poverty guidelines, but it does affect your case in the sense that if you're not working, how are you going to support your spouse? But that has nothing to do with whether or not you applied for employment benefits. Tracy Lacey just has a public service announcement. Tracy Lacey, hope the president knows that this virus does not pick and choose. It's not playing a game. Rupan Takadar on YouTube says, hi, when submitted DS-260 to the National Visa Center, I forgot to write my spouse visited one country and WhatsApp app. Now the NVC accepted everything and my spouse waiting for interview. How and when can I fix my mistakes? Your spouse would have to fix the mistakes at the time of the interview and update that she has a WhatsApp app and an additional country that she visited, and say there was an error, and do that when the interview starts. In other words, it's not a misrepresentation if you fix it right there on the spot. Ken Kibbett, hi Brad. After filing an adjustment through VAWA, do you get an interview before VAWA is approved or after? Generally after. Ruth Spencer, if receiving food stamps during this pandemic, will it count towards public charge? Yes. Princess Martin Uniqueness, just with a statement. Ol Uwartimi Fawahimi. Did they open Georgia at the same day 100,000 people got the virus? We're in trouble in America. Yes, that could be an opinion that many people share. Oliami Amibola. I'm submitting my asylum documents to USCIS and I received acknowledgement copy last week. How many days will it take before I go for an interview and biometrics? It's generally about 4 or 6 months. They really try to get the interview done before you become eligible for your work permit. They're really trying to screw people. So you become eligible for your work permit at the 180-day mark. So hopefully before that. Let's see what else we can have. 29 Super C. Can my company file for a B1 in lieu of an H1B when the U.S. Embassy reopens, even though I had one in April 2018, which expired last year while I await my green card appointment? If you have a legitimate business purpose of coming to the United States for a meeting without doing actual employment here, you're coming for a conference, you're coming for a meeting that can't be done by Zoom, the answer is yes. If you're coming for an actual employment, no. So you would have to show there's a specific meeting that you have to come to that you can't be done through Zoom or some other teleconference. But it can't be can't be getting a visa to come just to work. Lens Celeste, why does the government not require every person using gloves and mask? They can help people a lot. If someone's not wearing with the mask and glove, you have to pay a fee and go to quarantine for a week, maybe a month. Well, you're tough. I don't know why the government's not, you got to speak to Donald Trump, but that seems like a tough penalty for not wearing a glove and mask. Hero Boy, spouse of a U.S. citizen is awaiting for immigrant visa interview at the U.S. Embassy. Does he need to buy health insurance before going to the interview? It is really preferable that the spouse has health insurance or the ability to get health insurance when they come, either through your job or some other way. But having the ability to have health insurance goes a long way to getting that interview. I don't think you'll be able to buy the health insurance beforehand, but if you can, that would be really, really helpful. Presley Elvis, because Elvis Presley is dead, but this is Presley Elvis. He's well alive. Hi, Uncle Brad. I filed for VAWA concurrently with I-45 on February 12th. I haven't received a receipt notice. I sent Vermont a letter of inquiry last week. When could I get a work permit? How long is this process? What you got to do is check to see if your check cleared. If your check cleared, then you know that your application's in. When are you going to get a work permit? About 4 to 6 months from now. It's not happening in the next couple of weeks. Ken Kibbett wants to know, how long does it take to get a receipt for an adjustment? A couple weeks. Kiki, my nephew is 20. He's engaged to a 27-year-old girlfriend. She has twins and in the military. Will the age be a problem? No, it's 7-year difference. I think it's fine. And 20 years old is perfectly fine to get married. I don't see that as a problem. Kenny B, hey, Brad, can I go to Jamaica with only my advance parole? If yes, how can I stay outside of America with it? You can go to Jamaica with your advance parole, but you're going to need a Jamaican passport to enter Jamaica, and you're going to need a Jamaican passport to get on an airplane. So you need both a passport and the advance parole. It doesn't give a time when you have to return on the advance parole. My advice is don't stay out for more than 3 weeks. After that, they could give you a problem. Laser USA has a question. Hi, Brad. I want to call you about my delayed case. I got approved for the I-130, but the I-45 is still pending. Can you do something for me right now, or do I have to wait until the coronavirus is over? I don't know enough about your case, but I'm happy to speak with you. The telephone number is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, or outside of the U.S., which I know you're not, but for other people, +1-212-227-8933. Tor Davis on YouTube. Hey, Brad, do the docs that were submitted to NBC, will a interview letter say to bring them? No, you need to bring all the original documents to your interview. Tema Dali Adiani. Hello, Brad. How long does an appeal take? Filed early this year. Our I-45 got denied. You are not appealing an I-45. You made a motion to reopen. It takes years. I really don't like motions to reopen on adjustments. I think you should refile again. Almost every person who gets their adjustment denied, I very rarely have said make a motion to reopen. I generally say refile again. I think you need to have a consultation with me simply because you're out of status. You can't renew your work permit, and it takes a really, really long time. And it goes back to the same jerk who already denied you. It's not going to a different person. So you're appealing a motion to reopen. You're appealing back to the same exact person who already denied you. How are you going to change their mind? And you're not getting a work permit, and you're out of status, and it takes a really long time. So for all of those reasons, I suggest instead to refile again. You get a work permit, you're back in status, and you get a different interviewer. Temalati, and obviously fix whatever the problem is. Temalati Adani. Hello, Brad. How long does an appeal? I answered that. Lens Celesti. My case has been ready for an interview since April 14th this year. How long do I have to wait to receive the date for my interview? I've been waiting for this question all day because the Magic 8 Ball has been very, very cold. It has not had a question in at least 3 days. Thank you very much, Lens Celesti, for bringing back the Magic 8 Ball. It is only the Magic 8 Ball that would know the answer to when you will get your interview, especially given the fact that immigration is closed until May 4th. Nobody's getting interviews right now, but only this. I don't know when you'll get it, but this Magic 8 Ball certainly knows when Lens Celesti will get her interview or his interview. And the question is, and I am not making this stuff up, the Magic 8 Ball says, if I can say it, better not tell you right now. Can we see that? It says, better not tell you right now. It says, better not tell you now. Not right now. Better not tell you now. Let's see if we can say it one more time. So the Magic 8 Ball doesn't even want to tell you. Even the Magic 8 Ball is confused during coronavirus time. Machara75 says, I am a VAWA applicant. I filed concurrently, but my notice of action and a C31 category, and I am spouse of a U.S. citizen. I don't have an EAD since November 2018. What can I do? I've said this 1,000 times. File an I-45 with your VAWA case. You file an I-45 with your VAWA case. You don't have to wait for your I-360 to get approved in order to get a work permit. Prince Wahi with a pre-comment of the day. Uncle Brad, best. I got a green card by VAWA, must continue staying in USA for 2 years, 9 months before applying for citizenship. Congratulations. Congratulations. And 29 Super C says that Magic 8 Ball is big. 29 Super C, I've got the biggest Magic 8 Ball. Nobody has as big a ball. Nobody has as big a ball as I have. This Magic 8 Ball. All right, let's see what's happening on Facebook quickly. Stacy wants to know, my interview was canceled due to coronavirus. Do you think they will ask me to redo my medical when they reschedule my interview? If your medical is over a year old, they may very well. Sasha Ford, they're going to pull her over in secretary when she's coming back through immigration. I'm not sure what she's talking about. Charles Casano, I have a cousin who is willing to be my affidavit support. He's a veteran and his income is from disability benefits. Is he eligible? Depends on how much his disability benefits are. Gregory Walker has a question. Hey, Uncle Brad, I'm out of status. Can I file for SJI for my 2 daughters under 18? And can you represent me with the girls in Alabama? I can represent you for immigration. I can't represent you in family court, but we can hopefully find a good lawyer for you in Alabama. Yes, you do not have to be in status to file for some special juvenile immigrant. My concern is that Alabama is not a sanctuary city. I would hate to get a Republican judge and have them call immigration on you. So it's something that we would want to discuss. Here in New York, it would never happen that way. And yes, you do not have to be in legal status to become a guardian for a special juvenile immigrant. And that, folks, is going to be our immigration questions for the day. Please subscribe. We're going to end our show. But before I end our show, I have a couple of comments to make. Number one, we're not going to be live tomorrow. I know it's very sad. I'm going to miss you guys too. We're also not going to be live Monday. Our next live pop-up is going to be on Tuesday, May 4th. So this will be our last show of the week. We will also not be here on Monday, but we'll see you Tuesday, May 4th. Number two, again, please subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe on YouTube. Please like and follow our page on Facebook. Please tell people to like and follow on Facebook. Please tell people to subscribe on YouTube. Only good things happen to you when you subscribe, like, and follow. Please call my office if you want to get on my list for a telephone call tomorrow, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whenever you're ready for me. My call, the number is 1-800-529-5465. I got to give a special thanks and a special shout out to the entire Brad Show crew who has been working from home tirelessly every day to put the show on. You don't know how difficult it is remotely to do this every day, and they do an amazing job. Lee, Jill, Sydney, Jenny, who's not Jenny from the cubicle now, she's Jenny from the bedroom, Julian the TriCaster guy, Rajev, Jeremy, the entire crew does an amazing job. So my hat's off to them. I'm giving them a break for Friday and Monday. We'll be back Tuesday. They need a breather because it is, I'm telling you, it is really, really a crazy thing to try to get 10 different people in 10 different homes, especially Lee lying on his bed, to do this entire show and get this done. And it's a testament to all of their amazing abilities. So special shout out to them. A special shout out to the Brad Squad, you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you. I love everybody in the Brad Squad. Please tell everybody about this show. You guys are amazing day in and day out. Quarantine, no quarantine. You guys are here supporting each other, supporting the show, supporting our crew. You guys, I mean, 2 thumbs up for everybody out there. And I do have to remind everybody that prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome. This has been an attorney advertisement. Remember, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Facebook, like on Facebook. You can drop me a DM on my Instagram at RealBradBernstein. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live for all the best of our programs, all the snippets from our programs, as well as get perhaps a free consultation if you like our show and tag 5 people. I like our post and tag 5 people. And with that, I do have to say goodbye. I'm going to start learning languages next week. I'm going to start saying goodbye in 100 different languages next week. But at the moment, all I can tell you is goodbye in English. Have a great weekend, everybody. Please stay safe. And we will see you all back here on Tuesday, May 4th, for the next edition of Bradshaw Live Pandemic Pop-Up. See you then.